So let's just dive right into these scores, huh?
Let's do it.
We'll get going. So on the main slate on Sunday, the Cardinals lose to the Bills in a close one, 34-28. The Dolphins beat the Jaguars 20-17. That was a comeback. Tyreek Hill was in a little bit of an interesting situation. We'll talk about that in a second as well. Steelers over the Falcons 18-10, 6 field goals there.
Yeah.
Saints all over the Panthers 47-10, and it wasn't that close either. The Patriots with the upset over the Bengals 16-10. Danger in Cincy. Danger. The Bears get the win over the Titans 24-17. The defense helped them out big time, bailed them out. The Texans survive against the Colts 29-27. The Vikings all over the Giants 28-6. The Chargers beat the Raiders 22-10. We'll talk about that more in a little bit because that's Sam's team. The Seahawks over the Broncos 26-20. The Cowboys destroy the Browns 33-17. That's a bummer.
I think we've been Russian hacked. I'm watching the stream here, and Tim's releasing all the images all at once right now.
Yeah.
So everyone's getting the taste of everything that's going on.
You're getting to see the what we're going to talk about in a little bit. The Buccaneers beat the Commanders 37-20, and then on our primetime games, the Chiefs opened up the season with the W against the Ravens 27-20. Isaiah Likely touched his toe on the end zone line at the end. It was not a touchdown by about a third of an inch. It was really close. The Eagles get the win over the Packers on Friday down in Brazil 34-29. The Lions in overtime get it done against the Rams 26-20 on Sunday Night Football. And as we said, the Niners and the Jets are playing in Santa Clara. That just kicked off about 20 minutes ago. So as soon as we're done, that's when I'm going to start watching. But let's talk about our teams first. Sam, Let's talk Raiders. Did you see anything that you liked?
I like the defense.
Okay,
I mean, when you leave the defense out on the field for that long, and a lot of things came down to the game. I think the biggest frustration thing is the fourth down, and you punt from you're 40.
Yeah, you were right there, right around the midfield, right? And
right. So you
7.5 minutes left.
40, where just go for it, because your defense has been on the field for so long. The Chargers, I felt the defensively they're doing pretty good things. I thought but were going to do their thing, and they did. But for the most part, you were starting. The Raiders offensively were starting to show signs that they could gash. They were getting some big plays. They're getting chunk plays, and the defense of the Chargers were starting to show that they were getting ready to give a big play, because they were on the field a long time too. Offensively, neither team was very dominant. They were both kind of crappy offensive showings. Go for it. Instead, you punt, you put your defense back on the field, and they end up having a drive, and now their defense has all this rest, and you had no shot, So once they gave up that touchdown, you have no shot. Turnover, the fumble, 2 fumbles, was just terrible. But the Minshew fumble was completely unacceptable. You got one job, and that's don't turn the ball over. Rule number 1. And you're not going to be an offense that can overcome these types of games. How the Chargers won the game is exactly how the Raiders should have or had the opportunity to win the game. And that's the Raider season, is you're not going to win games in down to field goal situation, turnover game, grind it out, fist fight football. And you lost.
Literally fist fight football.
You lost. So Antonio appears to be a really good coach. I just think this roster doesn't have the quarterback. It doesn't have the quarterback that's gonna. I think you might be able to be somewhere around 7, 8, 9 wins. But I think that's the rest of the team carrying everything. And I think it's kind of like the Jets, right? You get Aaron Rodgers coming back. You got a lot of pieces on the Jets, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be the MVP guy. He just needs to be competent, because if they got any type of competent play last year, the Jets are a really good football team. They're a 10-win football team. And we've said this about the Raiders in the offseason, draft, free agency, is could you be just a decent quarterback away type of roster? And I think they are. I think if they had a respectable quarterback, they're in the hunt. They just don't.
I think a couple things to take away though that I saw from the game is a lot of screenplays, man. A lot more than I was really anticipating from the offense that I saw a year ago. And trust me, being an Eagles fan, I've seen my fair share of screenplays for an offense as being the sole provider of it. And hopefully there's a little bit more motion, a little bit more creativity as the offense, rolls along here. Bowers though looks good. I know it wasn't like a Kelsey type of showing, but did the little things, blocking well, has good hands, looks like he has a pretty smart IQ. So I think there's some positives to take away from this loss. I mean, Khalil Mack is all world talent, and he showed you why. He had some strip sacks. He had the creating of havoc for Minshew the whole entire game. So, but I think ultimately it's week one. This offense is got to develop more. It doesn't really look like it's going to get much easier. I mean, that division's pretty tough as it is. So
the Ravens next week.
Exactly. Yeah. So
in
speaking of, and I mean, Isaiah Likely was the only tight end that actually did anything, and nobody drafted him. So I mean, so that'll be a huge waiver wire for you fantasy heathens out there. Yeah. I'm sure
he was very unlikely for everyone.
Yeah, totally. Made me sad in one league, but that's okay. That's okay. So let's talk Eagles real quick. Friday night, you get the huge W there in Brazil. What'd you like?
Man, I didn't like that field, though. I'll tell you that. That field was god awful. Why are we watering a pitch like it's a soccer match? It's not. These are 300-pound men, not 180-pound little skinny soccer guys. What are we doing here? So my takeaways. Look, Jalen Hurts had a Jalen Hurts type of game, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. That is a little telling to me, given the fact that he praised so highly about this new offense. This offense definitely looks better. Kellen Moore's got more motion into the offense. I can't speak enough about the defense. That defense literally saved our butts again, So we've got Barkley on our team who look like, if he had a competent O-line in New York, this is what you would have seen for the last 3 years. So it's not a shock to me.
Pass play too, like that's Huddy.
Yeah, and the corner over there.
Yeah,
I mean that's something that an X factor that he brings, right? Mm-hmm. But the Eagles have shown with their O-line that any competent running back could look really good in our thing. And then you add Barkley, who could do things, catching for a touchdown, or explode down the middle and just look like the all-world talent that he was in New York. So I love that. Mitchell, our rookie cornerback, they tried him 3 or 4 times. Not a single one ever worked on him. So I am super happy to have him there. A little concerned with the middle linebacker position. Nakobe Dean looked good. He had some good moments there. I think that's still a big little question mark. We had some injuries going into this game as well too, but hey, you take the W, prayers out for Jordan Love. That's an unfortunate situation to end the game, but a W is a W.
He sprained his MCL, excuse me. So he's probably going to be out for a few weeks. They've already announced, I believe it's Malik Willis is going to be quarterbacking the Packers for the next few games while Jordan Love works his way back. So condolences to the Packers fans. Yeah, that's a rough way to end too. Is like right at the end too. Like it's just it's a shitty field too. Like I mean, I'm sure that was a contributing factor as well. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to talk about the Niners right now. We can just move on to news and notes, I believe.
I do want to shout out the Steelers, man. We said it, or at least Vince said it again. I mean, how the hell did they get this win? This was Who was the quarterback? It was
Justin Fields was
quarterbacking. just field goals was that whole entire game. So it's impressive that they got that win. Steelers, you could just put them in the book for at least 8 wins this year, right?
Yeah, well, just 9 wins. 9 wins because they're going to finish above 500. That's what Thompson does. 500
crazy.
or better.
It's crazy, man.
Unless there's a tie in there, he's getting 9 wins. 8 wins and a tie, or 9 or more. Like that's what's going to happen. Just go ahead and just chisel that into fucking stone, man. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Somehow the Steelers are the only team in the AFC North with a win.
Yeah, it's wild. Anyways, just want to give the roses for that one.
Somebody that got something was Dak Prescott. Dallas. Jerry Jones finally caved and agreed to a 4-year, $240 million extension, making Dak the highest paid player in NFL history. So Dallas is going to continue their commitment to mediocrity. I love this for them. It's great. They got CD locked up, which is great, but then they also locked up Dak. So I love that too. And
the money they spent on CD, the money they spent on Dak, right? How are they going to be able to afford their all-pro defensive end over there? Micah Parsons. He's on his last year of his rookie contract. He can opt into his 5th year next year. They could franchise tag him. That's an option they could do. But how are they going to be able to pay for this kid? And I'm look, I like wearing my tin hat every once in a while. He's from Philadelphia. He's a big Eagles fan. And Howie Roseman is my GM. So if anything could happen, I trust in Howie on this one. And it would be great if it did happen. Oh, man. Just the hate coming down my road would be so sweet. I would all of it, love all of it. Bring it on.
Yeah. So let's talk Sunday morning. Tyreek Hill was put in handcuffs briefly by police about a block away from the stadium right before the game. He later in the game scores a touchdown, and then his TD celebration was walking like he was in cuffs. So I'm glad he had a little bit of a sense of humor about it, but it's just, what the hell? Like, for starters, what are the cops doing? As soon as they realize that that's Tyreek Hill, why aren't they saying, hey, just tone it down a little, I mean.
Well, I did read about it. Right? He was driving recklessly.
Yeah.
And, don't drive how many football players are in these fucking car accidents?
Oh, no, I'm not saying anything like that, but you put Tyreek in handcuffs though. I get pulling him over for reckless driving, and then you find out it's him. Maybe you escort him yourself to the stadium at that point. Yeah. But I don't, oh man.
Well, I mean, Tyreek,
as soon as he passed the field sobriety test, I'm sure,
Tyreek did the right thing. He went to his press conference. He didn't downplay the police. He said, we need to work together as a community. And, he could have come out and said I was in the wrong too, but he didn't say that. He skirted that, but he didn't also badmouth the police, which is, I appreciate that as well too. Calais Campbell was also, I think it was Calais, right? Campbell was also put into handcuffs, trying to de-escalate the situation with him as well too. So that's an unfortunate situation, awkward and weird situation that happens. But
what a way to start the year, huh?
First Scotty Scheffler, and now Tyreek Hill, huh? Trying to make it to the stadium and you get arrested.
Right. Good grief. Ricky Pearsall is he may be able to play in week 5 as soon as he's eligible to come off of the NFI list.
That's many men's Ricky Pearsall right there.
Yeah. Wow. So Shanahan actually said that when he talked to the doctors in the ER that of 100 guys that come in with that kind of gunshot injury, only 2 of them survive. So there's a horseshoe up Ricky Pearsall's ass or something. I don't know, man. He's extremely lucky. So I mean, we talked about it before. So that's great. Glad he's feeling better. He's at the stadium. I saw him pregame. He was taking pictures with fans and stuff like that. Christian McCaffrey is not starting in Monday Night Football. So that was a huge last minute news. And if you didn't have Jordan Mason already on your team, what were you thinking? You knew he was CMC was questionable, so you gotta think ahead. And some people may have sniped Jordan Mason off of the waiver wires when that was available. I may have done that to somebody in a family league. with my cousin up north in Portland. So
I just want to point out, shout out to your team, Vince. They got me my parlay, so I won my bet today. So
okay,
let's go, baby.
cool. So Ayuk got 7 yards in the first quarter. Thanks.
He got 7 yards, and Rodgers had to score or had to get more than 5 total yards, or 0.5. So
he had to throw for a yard or more.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So shout out.
Wild. Okay. All right. So is there anything else football we should discuss? I'm looking over it.
I would just say I need to see more out of Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
That was abysmal.
Yeah, that offense was ass. They got bailed out by 2 a defensive score and a special team score.
You mean Simone Biles' husband?
Yeah.
That's
right.
it. That's
specifically Jonathan Owens. Yeah.
That's all I really got on this week. Except one more thing too. Kirk Cousins, man, if you can't plant that foot, you will have a rough day meeting Mr. Jalen Carter next Monday here, bud. Just giving you a heads up.
It didn't look great. I don't think the confidence was quite there yet.
Don't think so either.
Yeah. So we'll see how it shakes out. I just on a whim, I just threw him on my bench as a second quarterback just for shits and giggles. But I'll probably keep toying with that and just dropping random guys and picking up random guys.